Alright, so in this video I'm going to give you a brief tour about how I update my Slackware Linux. It's a distribution which I still use day-to-day basis. It is one of the OS installed in physical partition in my machine, and it's been long. So I wrote up a 3-4 line bash script which will automate the stuff for updating the system for me. Okay, and I haven't put it in a corn is a place which kicked up the stuff automatic fashion in a timely manner. I haven't done so because I wanted to run the update stuff by hand when I feel it is necessary. Okay, so sorry, so here is a little bit of script which helps me to get updated by running it. Okay, so first of all, let me spawn up a terminal and move it to a different workspace. So let me zoom in first. Okay, so I believe I have zoomed in first. So the script which is absolute ordinary, and I wrote it for my purpose because I loathe things become putting a lot of stuff in one place to so many things at once. I prefer one thing should be done properly in precise matter so it can be chained together. This particular script is just for the updating the whole system. Okay, at instead of running 3-4 commands, it run bunch of command one by one through a script, as simple as that. Use a local bin and update system. Not so funny, right? So this is absolute ordinary to the point because, as I mentioned, I couldn't remember the stuff if I couldn't write the file name properly. The job of this script is to update the system. If I press enter, this is the damn simple script, and it should be up there in the GitHub repo of mine. If you search through the admin script repository, it's supposed to be there. So there is no rocket science going on, right? As you can see on the screen, first 3 lines are pretty fancy stuff. I put it for just to you can eliminate it easy thing. Those printf statement just for eye candy stuff. Or probably when I wrote something else in my mind and I haven't cleared it out, so I kept it that way. So if you ever try this, so you could have easily eliminate those. So next there is a variable, and which takes a numeric value 90, as you can see. That means 90%, and there is another variable just underneath it, so which basically I'm parsing the df output of a root file system, if because the update is going to be affected on the root file system where your OS is inflated. So I'm printing out a specific column out of df output and eliminate the percentage sign attached to it for the sake of simplicity. Then I ran if loop and comparing the numerical comparison with the numeric stored in a max point variable, and if it is less than that variable value, so it will go ahead and update the system. If it is greater than, then it's aborting because there won't be a sufficient space to update the system, because updating the system bit by bit, enhancing or using this disk space due to new file brings in configuration changes and a lot of other activities done by the update and upgrade system. Okay, so and this is the meat of the script, pretty one-liner. As you can see, there is a tm variable which I have defined right on top of the script. which is nothing but call a time binary with an F flag. So basically it says me what is the elapsed time. That means how much time it take to complete the entire operation. I'm running two specific commands, slack package update and slack package upgrade all, which basically, if you come from other distributions, similar kind of command has been used in other Linux distribution to almost equal. Probably the meaning here is little different, but it does the same thing basically. And the last if loop is there again, just to check if I run it on another workspace and not looking at it. So it will tell me with a pop-up that whether the update is successful or not. If it is not, I need to go to a specific workspace and check out manually what is happening. Okay, or probably looking into the log file to just to find out what is going wrong. So this is a pretty darn simple update script. I run to update my Slackware. Okay, so to give you a demo, this is a simple script. You can, again I'm preaching, find it on the admin script report under GitHub of my username. Okay, so let me run it, or rather I generally run it in this fashion. I have a workspace which bring up all my stuff, say like this. You have seen it, right? I have covered it in my previous backlog video, the how these things work. It's just a script which is running in a dedicated workspace irrespective of the OS I'm sitting on, because I have probably said it that I run i3 window manager for a long time, and this is the whole and soul window manager I've been using for over 6 years probably, and it across the OS I have in my machine. So, and I make sure that in my i3 computer I make a dedicated workspace to bring up these utilities. So every time, whatever the OS I'm sitting on, every time I run this particular keybind, it will come up with a specific workspace with this kind of stuff. Okay, so here number 3 is the important. So I'm going to update the system. So I might disconnect this recording because the update might take a lot of time. The purpose of this video to show you how I update the Slackware Linux where I'm sitting, okay, with a simplest possible few lines of bash script. You might take a queue, you might enhance it, you can make things complicated, you can make things fancy, even you can make it even more elegant. And this is a very ordinary, any kid can write it, right? So it's not a big deal. If you have a better elegant way of doing it without complicating or infusing third-party stuff, I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section to your thoughts, and importantly your work. Write down the work you wanted to do instead of telling me what I should do. Okay, it will be great feedback from your side if you show me your work, what you are supposed to do in this specific, without getting derailed or deviated. Okay, so if I select 3, and it will certainly ask for the superuser password which I am giving. See, this is how it is getting. As I shown to you, first 3 printf statement just proved this stuff, which is absolute fancy stuff, but when I wrote it for something else in my mind, so that's why I put it. So it is still there. I haven't cleared it out. If you ever try to use you can easily wipe out that particular section or those 3 printf statement which doesn't bring anything useful probably to you. Then as you can see, it is finding the root partition has got enough space, so it says okay, looks good, proceed for the update. Then I run the normal Slack package update, I enhanced to Slack package plus, which um, add some, what I say, the plugins, the enhanced capability to the default Slack package uh, binary, which comes bundled with Slackware. So I'm running that. It will keep track of my SBO package. Is a kind of, you can think of it as a Arch or system package, or something third party which is not native. So it keep track of the SBO packages too, whatever I have in my system installed, because I have so many, because Slackware uh, official repository could not have those packages, so I have to get it from somewhere else, and I installed it and maintain it myself. So this is how basically it is going to update, and once it is done, I'm just doing this commentary just to make you engaged and looking at the screen, so you'll not get bored. um, so just have patience. It will take a little bit of time because I'm sitting on a slow old machine. So if you're sitting on a beefy fast machine, it might be done blink of your eyes. It should not take this much time. Plus the internet connection, which matters too. Okay, so it's basically cross-checking and downloading the delta from the source URL I have mentioned in the Slack package conf file, which you are supposed to mention where things can be pulled from. I specifically mention one or two URL where things getting pulled. So that's what it is trying. It is getting synced with the local system, and eventually it will show you up with a pop-up box with all the updates that I should apply. um, I as I mentioned very beginning of the video, that I haven't put this stuff in a con to run it, because I decided when I should run it. So I run it according to my convenient, although it could be done through cron, but I prefer to do it by hand. That sounds neat. See, here comes the updates I have right now at this moment. Okay, so if I go ahead and press OK, it will going to update the system, and let me do it for you. So you can change the option by pressing the tab key. If I press OK, see, it started to fetching the stuff from the, as you can see, the URL. This is the URL I have mentioned where it is fetching all the stuff. You can see I'm highlighting. So this is the place where it is getting synced or fetched the stuff. For my system, you're probably quite different, because in the Slackware mirror file there will be different other URLs also across the globe. So you should select something from thing near to you. I'm selecting this URL for a different reason. Generally people suggest, and quite rightly suggest, that you should select the mirror which is nearby to you, so the fetching would be much faster. So selecting me this mirror has got different reasoning, which I'm not going to delve into it, so I use it by like this. And if I could show you, I don't know, I'll be so let's come here and Slack package. should point it to the mirror somewhere here. No, not this one. Okay. Slack package. Here you go. So here are the mirror list. You can see there are different mirror lists across the globe. So you should select something which is nearby to you. Okay, so the things can get faster fetching or syncing. And mine is here. As you can see, I have uncommented this particular thing. Okay, so it could be different to you. So it will take some time to get updated, and once it is updated, it will prompt to select. There will be 4 options with specific letter attached to it, to keep the old configuration file, to override the configuration file, check it for later, something like that. 4 options are there. You need to choose what you are going to do. If you ever select that you want to implement the new configuration file which brings by this update, just make sure you keep the backup of the existing config. I'm telling from my poor experience, because I did it blindly sometime, and it wipe out my old configuration because I haven't take a backup of it. So, and system having problem, so I had, every time I do the update, I take a safe route. Just keep the old config going and keep the new file, new configure file, which Slackware put with a .new extension. Okay, so let me show you. If I could type, see, I have created something. So this many new you can see the few files which are having a .new extension. These are the new configuration file. I haven't merged it yet. Okay, you are seeing permission denied because I ran the command as a normal user, and those file access require a super user privilege. That's why it is saying permission denied. But the point to show you this, that the new configuration file is saved with a .new extension for later inspection. I generally do. I do not blindly apply the updated config to over on existing config. I keep those new file, compare with the existing one which is working, and then if I feel the necessity, or if I realize the enhancement and update, I then merge it. Why it is happened, for why this decision, I have burned my finger. Let me point it out specifically. This file was updated once by my foolishness, and the system stopped working in networking, because this is a routing table stuff. Because new configuration brings up something which wiped out the old config. Okay, so, and once I rebooted it stopped accessing the network. So I figured out this is the file. So I'm pretty, from that lesson onward, I generally keep the new configuration file for later inspection instead of overwriting with the new config. So I compared with the old config with the new config. Once I'm satisfied, then I merge it to new config take place. Okay, so you can see this many new config file are existing in my system, and hopefully few more will be attached once I finish this particular update. So I'll spend a little bit of time to merge those new config file to my existing system, and just to make sure that the new config file should not clobber my existing work. So that is why I'm refraining or delaying the merging of a new config, but it is necessary because something coming as a new developer pushed it. That means it has to have some sort of enhancement. Sometime this is in brief what I'm telling you for last 5 minutes. This is a brief just to keep the sanity of my own mind, just to make sure I understand the change. Then I go ahead and apply the change instead of blindly changing the applying the update. Got it? So that's what. So let me. So we are in 10 out of 29 package update. I think we can see this while I'm commenting to you. I hope it will not take too much time. Oh, this is a firmware update and it will take half an hour time. So I'm basically going to disconnect this video recording, and I hope you got some understanding from my brief explaining to you how I personally manage Slackware system of my own. There is no rocket science involved. It's pretty ordinary, pretty simple stuff. Okay, so you probably have a better idea if you're sitting on a Slackware. Please do let me know in the comment section below so I can adapt it. Okay, so thanks for watching.